Under the northern skies, Finland and Sweden are quietly reshaping the balance of power in Europe. Two decisions, taken almost in parallel, are now converging into a powerful combination. Finland's acquisition of the F-35A stealth fighter and Sweden's deployment of the GlobalEye airborne early warning system. At first glance, these appear to be separate defense programs, but when seen together, they form a complementary architecture that may well change the way NATO operates in the Baltic and the Arctic. If you find this kind of analysis meaningful, I hope you will support our channel, because your encouragement is what allows us to continue exploring the deeper logic behind today's military strategies. Finland's choice of the F-35A was both pragmatic and revolutionary. By signing a deal worth about $8.4 billion to purchase 64 aircraft, Helsinki essentially leapfrogged into the fifth generation of air combat. The F-35's strengths are not only stealth and maneuverability, but its ability to serve as a flying sensor node, integrating and sharing real-time data across the entire battle space. For Finland, whose border with Russia stretches more than 1,300 kilometers, this is not just about deterrence. It is about ensuring that any hostile incursion can be met with rapid, networked, and precise countermeasures. The F-35s give Finland the ability to operate inside contested airspace, to challenge Russia's layered air defenses in Murmansk and Karelia, and to deny Moscow uncontested skies over northern Europe. What makes the F-35 particularly valuable is its role as part of a broader information ecosystem. The aircraft can link via the multifunction Advanced Data Link and Link 16 systems, sharing sensor information with other jets, ground-based radars, and even naval assets. In practice, this means that an F-35 in Finnish service can see what a NATO frigate in the North Atlantic detects, or pass along target coordinates from a satellite queuing system. It is not just a fighter. It is a node in a vast digital network that transforms situational awareness across the alliance. On the Swedish side, the choice of the GlobalEye airborne early warning aircraft reflects a different but equally critical priority. Sweden does not share a direct land border with Russia, but it sits astride the Baltic, with the island of Gotland acting as a natural aircraft carrier in the middle of the sea. In this geography, awareness is everything. GlobalEye, developed by Saab, carries the AirEye ER radar capable of detecting aircraft, ships, and even moving ground targets at ranges exceeding 500 kilometers. Unlike older AWACS platforms, GlobalEye can simultaneously track hundreds of contacts across multiple domains, giving commanders a panoramic and persistent view of the battlespace. In simple terms, GlobalEye provides the eyes that can see over the horizon, even when stealth aircraft or cruise missiles try to hide. What distinguishes GlobalEye from legacy airborne early warning systems is its flexibility. It can monitor low-flying drones, stealth aircraft, and surface vessels simultaneously, something NATO has long lacked in the northern theater. Moreover, by operating from Swedish bases and covering the Baltic Sea, GlobalEye can provide constant surveillance of Kaliningrad, where Russia has stationed advanced missile systems and electronic warfare units. For NATO planners, this is a priceless capability, ensuring that there are fewer blind spots and less room for Russia to maneuver. The real strategic impact emerges when these two systems are linked. GlobalEye can detect threats long before they approach NATO airspace, transmitting targeting data in real time. The F-35, designed to absorb and fuse such external data, can then move into position and engage without ever revealing itself by switching on its own radar. In this sense, GlobalEye and the F-35 form a classic pairing of eyes and sword. One identifies, the other strikes. It is an asymmetric response to Russia's heavy reliance on anti-access and area denial systems, such as the S-400 air defense complexes stationed in Kaliningrad and the Arctic. by forcing Russia to spread its defenses wider and prepare for coordinated attacks from stealth fighters guided by distant sensors, Finland and Sweden have shifted the strategic equation. Consider a hypothetical scenario. Russian bombers, such as the Tu-160, launch cruise missiles from the Arctic, or Su-35 fighters patrol over the Gulf of Finland. GlobalEye would likely be able to detect and track these aircraft hundreds of kilometers away. Instantly, the information could be passed to F-35 squadrons operating deep inside Finnish airspace. Without emitting radar signals of their own, the F-35s could position themselves for interception, exploiting stealth and electronic warfare to close in unnoticed. By the time the Russian aircraft realized they were under threat, it would be too late. This is how the GlobalEye F-35 synergy denies Moscow the element of surprise. This synergy also strengthens NATO in ways that go beyond the immediate region. Finland and Sweden, as new members, are not merely filling political seats at the alliance table. They are bringing in cutting-edge assets that knit seamlessly into NATO's network-centric doctrine. The Baltic Sea, once viewed as a vulnerable space where Russia's fleet and missiles could dominate, is now evolving into a surveillance and strike environment heavily biased toward NATO. The F-35s provide the sharp end of the spear, while GlobalEye ensures that the spear always knows where to point. For Moscow, this represents a serious complication. It cannot rely on local superiority, and it cannot assume surprise. The implications extend further north into the Arctic and the North Atlantic. Russia has long relied on its bastion strategy in the Arctic, seeking to shield its submarine fleet around the Kola Peninsula. With Finland and Sweden in NATO, and with GlobalEye and F-35s operating in tandem, even this sanctuary is becoming more transparent to Allied sensors and potentially more vulnerable to precision strike. The message is clear. Nowhere in the Northern Theater can Russia operate without being seen and potentially targeted. From a broader perspective, the story is not about two procurement programs. It is about how the shadow of Russia has forced both Finland and Sweden to abandon long traditions. Finland's cautious neutrality, Sweden's two centuries of non-alignment, and embrace high-technology integration with NATO. Without the perceived threat from Moscow, there would have been no urgency for Finland to leap into the fifth generation, nor for Sweden to invest in an advanced airborne radar system. Russia remains the unspoken driver, the dark presence in the background that explains why Northern Europe is arming in such a coordinated fashion. In the end, the symbolism is as powerful as the technology. When the eyes of GlobalEye open wide and the sword of the F-35 strikes silently, Northern Europe ceases to be an exposed frontier. It becomes a fortress in the sky where NATO's presence is undeniable and Russia's options are constrained. That transformation is not just about defense. It is about sending a signal that the Baltic will not be left vulnerable, and that small nations, when united and equipped with the right tools, can alter the balance of an entire theater. If you want us to continue dissecting these strategic moves and uncovering how they reshape our world, I ask for your support. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel, so together we can follow the trajectory of history as it is written, through weapons, alliances, and the decisions of nations facing existential choices.